Hi everyone, video of today, topic of security and safety. The field of security and safety is very vast. Cannot cover this topic in one video. We will start today with general introduction to this field. Let's start first with the definitions. Definition of security: the precautions that are done to keep person, company, organization, staff, premises or even country safe from danger. Safety: how safe something is to use or how safe somewhere to visit. In other words, how safe someone from danger in a particular situation. The differences between field of security and field of safety as follows. Security measured by threats: the intended actions that is performed or planned to happen deliberately. For example, crime, civil political unrest, armed clashes, aggression, etc. The events or the consequences of security events are called risk. Risk can be well understood from this equation. Risk equal to likelihood of threat to happen and its impact if it were to happen. While the safety measured by hazard, non-deliberative action, such as natural phenomena, man-man hazards. Here we say it is threat, while in safety, hazard. Safety event consequences are called harms. So harm equal to likelihood of hazard to happen multiplied by its severity if it were to happen. In order to make it clear for you, we need to provide more examples to be well understood. Examples of security direct or indirect threats. We will take this in details in the upcoming videos. Examples of threats in general: suicide attacks, improvised explosive devices, kidnapping, hijacking, robbery, and etc. Before we give examples to field of safety, we need to make a difference between the natural and man-made. Natural: earthquakes, hurricanes, volcanoes, storms, heavy rains, streams and floods, severe weather conditions. But the man-made, here we need to make two sub-categories for man-made hazards. Man-made hazards in general, such as road traffic accidents, fire incidents. Specific hazards, that is pertaining to some fields of organizations or INGOs that are working with armed clashes. So the hazards here: explosive remnant of war, landmines, and etc. But in the industries side, there are particular occupational related hazards such as pressure, radiation, toxic and hazardous chemicals, electricity, and so on. Here in this slide we will study how the events of security and safety take place. By studying this equation, threats here pertaining to security while hazard for safety. So if there are threats or hazards, they are not posted as a risk or harm without the intervention or including this one. So threat, hazard, plus human presence, unsafe acts, both called exposure to the threat or to the hazard, will result in risk or harm. To give an example for this, the first example belongs to security. Active shooting area plus human presence will result in risk. The second, for safety, inflammable materials plus sparks will result in harm. So why we need, or why the exposure to security or safety events? For two main reasons: business interest, mining industries. For example, we can give the example of Afghanistan. After the American forces left Afghanistan, we see the competition between China and Russia for mining in this insecure country. Why? Because the interests are very high because of the expensive minerals that they will invest in that country. So it is necessitating for them to go to invest in this insecure country. Life-saving, to save lives, to provide humanitarian aids. If insecure country or not stable country exposed to armed clashes, threats, or even catastrophic crisis, natural floods. So here the objective of INGOs to go to those countries in order to provide humanitarian aid for them, but before they proceed, they have to take the precautions and lessen the risk or the hazards to the lower degree. Here, how we can exist in dangerous environment without exposure to risk or harm. We need to study the threats, hazards, analyze them, then reduce the risk to an acceptable level after applying measures of prevention of likelihood of the undesirable actions to happen and the mitigation of impact, severity of the dangerous events if they were to happen. After that, balance the assessed risk with desired and expected outcomes.